Hey guys, good morning. Thank you for tapping in for some real talk from the heart. Man, we are reading through the Bible twice per year at 7 chapters per day. It is on average about an hour of reading, of course, depending on the length of the chapters, how much you stop to journal. But we are on our second time through the Bible in 2022, and we are in the book of Ecclesiastes, beginning at chapter 7, finishing out through chapter 12, and then Song of Solomon, chapter 1. So our 7 chapters this morning, Ecclesiastes 7 through Song of Solomon 1. And our devotion this morning is from Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 4. Let me read this to you, man. It's a beautiful passage. It says, "Draw me away, draw me away. We will run after you. The king has brought me into his chambers. We will be glad and rejoice in you. We will remember your love more than wine. Rightly do they love you." Man, this passage right here had me going this morning, y'all. As I was sitting in my study this morning, just doing my devotion before I hopped on the treadmill, man, this passage right here was just, man, it was really grabbing my heart, man. Just meditating on God's love, man, for us. Man, and really what the theme was this morning was just being mindful, man, living mindful of God's love for us. The first thing that I want to point out to you in this passage here is draw me away, right? There's the desire, right? Intimacy with the Lord. Listen, it should be our number one desire, man. The number one desire for the child of God should be intimacy with God. And so there's the cry of our heart, Lord, draw me away, draw me away. Now listen, on the other side of this, man, every single day, the Lord desires to draw you and me away, man, with his love. Man, from the moment you and I get up, man, from the waking moments where we regain consciousness as it is, right, in our beds, there's that still small voice of the lover of our soul saying, come away, come away. He's drawing us away. But it needs to be met with a desire in our heart that wants to be drawn away. And so you see here in Song of Solomon, man, the cry of the heart, draw me away. And then here's the second thing. It says, we will run after you. We will run after you. Beloved, I want to ask you, are you running after him this morning? Man, are you right now in the life, man, that he has given you, man? Would you define your life as a life that is chasing God, a life that is running after God? Would you define your life as such? What are you running after? Man, what are you pursuing, man? What are you chasing if it's not the Lord? Second thing, or third thing I want to ask, actually, is that thing that you're pursuing, that thing that you're chasing, if it's not the Lord, can it love you like he can? And of course the answer is no. Nobody and no thing can love us like he does. Nothing ever will. Nothing ever has. Nothing does. Love him. Love us like he does. Okay, and watch this. It says the king has brought me into his chamber. Man, I love that, man. That is, again, is that picture of intimacy, man, where the king wants to bring you, the king wants to bring me into that secret place, man, into his chamber where he resides. And he says, I want you to be there with me. The king has brought me into his chamber. And then it says this, we will be glad and rejoice in you. Beloved, are you glad in the Lord? Do you find your heart, man, just welling up with gladness because of who he is, what he's done, what he's doing, and what he promised he would do? Are you glad in the Lord today? Are you glad in the Lord today? And then it says this, man, I love this. It says, and we will rejoice in you, man. Are you rejoicing in the Lord? What are you rejoicing in? What do you find your heart rejoicing in? I know right now it's football season. So a lot of people, their minds are consumed with the NFL right now, man. It's NFL from sun up to sundown, you know, fantasy leagues and all this kind of stuff, man. And that's where their heart is running to in this season. or other things, fishing season or golfing or whatever it is, right? And it's not wrong to enjoy those things, but listen, those things should not be your master passion. Those things should not be the magnificent obsession of your life. They should not be the master joy of your heart. Here in Song of Solomon, it says, we will be glad and rejoice in you. And then this next thing right here, and this is really where, man, my heart was resting at in this devotion this morning. It's this: we will remember, right? We will be mindful. Man, we will consider, we will contemplate, we will meditate on your love. I mean, we're going to remember your love. And then it says this: more than wine, right? More than intoxicating drink, more than getting drunk, more than catching a buzz. We're going to remember your love. Beloved, you don't need a drink. You don't need a drink. What you need to do is think on God's love and think on God's love for you. Because after all, man, when that little high comes down, that little buzz comes down, your problems are still right there. That problem hasn't gone anywhere. It's still right there. Man, but when you and I can bring ourselves into meditating and being mindful of God's love, man, it totally changes our perspective, our attitude, man, our thought processes, our attitudes, our actions towards others. Man, God's love is so powerful when it gets a hold of our hearts. So it says here, we will remember your love more than. And maybe you're like, well, wine's not my thing, or intoxicating drink is not my thing. Well, hey, maybe fill in the blank there. We will remember your love more than, man, everything and anything else. And then watch this, how it ends. It says, rightly do they love you. Rightly do they love you. It is only right, beloved. It is only right to love God because of his love for us. Are you mindful of God's love for you? Are you mindful of God's love for you? Because listen, it's only right, beloved. It's only right that we love God first in our lives. It's only right that we love him first in our lives. I'm going to give you 3 passages this morning. 3 passages that came to my mind as I was sitting in my devotion this morning in my study. 1 John 4:19 says, we love him because he first loved us. We love him because he first loved us. And because he first loved us, listen, we should love him first. We should seek him first. Romans 5:8. But God demonstrates his own love. God doesn't demonstrate somebody else's love. God demonstrates his very own love, right? His love, agape love. It says this: in that while we were sinners, Christ died for us. God demonstrated, he proved his love first. And how did he demonstrate it and prove his love first? Is that while we were at our worst, man, he gave his most. He gave his best. He gave his son, Jesus Christ, to die for us, man. Let's be mindful of that love today. And then lastly, beloved, listen, John 3:16. John 3:16 says this: in this way, right? This is how, in other words, God loved the world. How did God love the world? It says he gave his only begotten son. And then it says that whosoever believes in him will not perish, right? Will not be eternally separated from God, but have eternal life with God. Beloved, that's worthy. Listen, that's worthy of our meditation, man. That's worthy that our mind would be filled and not forgetful, but be mindful of that love that God has given to you and me, because there's no love like it on the planet. No one can love you like he can. And I pray that today that love would empower you and motivate you and inspire you. Listen, to let him love through you to the people you will come in contact with today, beginning with your family, man, beginning with maybe your coworkers or your classmates, man, whoever you come into contact with. I pray that God's love for you will flow from you and have an influence and an effect and an impact on the people that you come into contact with today. Hey, don't forget, the Lord loves you. That's what this devotion was about, being mindful of God's love. The Lord loves you. I love you too, man, and I'm praying for you. And I pray, please be praying for me. I need your prayers. Man, I hope you have a great Friday. Hope you have a great weekend. And if you live in the area, Calvary Chapel, Toppenish, 408 West 6th Avenue. 2 services, 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. I will be teaching Philippians chapter 1, verses 1 through 11 as we continue our verse-by-verse study through the New Testament. Salute in Jesus' mighty name.